So hello everyone, coming to the last section of our dentin chapter. So this deals with the age and functional changes of dentin. So here we will discuss, as the teeth is growing old or the person is growing old, what all changes will take place. So basically two significant changes what we can see is, one is the vitality of the dentin will change and there will be secondary dentin formation also. So coming to the first one, vitality of the dentin. So dentin is considered to be a living tissue. It is a vital tissue because of the presence of odontoblastic cells and the tubules are there inside that. So any stimulus is given, the dentinal tubules will get hurt. As the age advances, the ability of the dentin to respond to the stimuli decreases. So when you are young, any insult or any injury to the dentinal tubules, the sensitivity is felt more and the injuries happens. But as age advances in old age people, the response to stimuli is decreased. That is about your vitality of dentin. The next one is your secondary dentin formation. So secondary dentin resembles the primary dentin in structure. Primary dentin and secondary dentin we have discussed, but the difference is because of in the less tubules. So secondary dentin formation is separate from the primary dentin because of the presence of less tubules here. This primary and secondary dentinal tubules are separated by a prominent contour line which is formed at the bend that develops as a result of sudden curve in the direction of dentinal tubules. So there is a sudden bend and primary and the secondary dentin changes. So vitality of the dentin and secondary dentin formation are the first two age and functional changes happens. Next one is your dead tracts. This is a short answer for you also. So when any tooth is subjected to traumatic insult, lot of pressure, biting force or some injury, some blow, anything. When a traumatic insult has happened to the tooth, then what happens? The odontoblast cannot handle this. So the odontoblast process, the death of odontoblast will take place. It is not necessary that all the odontoblast will die, but some of them or many of them may die. So what happens here? An injury happens and the odontoblastic processes die. So in the affected area, the dentinal tubules becomes empty because the odontoblastic process has gone. Only the shell, the skeleton is there, dentinal tubule is there. Inside, the odontoblastic process has died and so it becomes like a hollow space. And this empty dentinal tubules are called as or referred as dead tracts. So this is an empty dentinal tubules. So whenever a cross section you are taking it, air goes inside that. So in this empty dentinal tubules, air goes inside and they appear dark under transmitted light and white under reflected light. So based on different types of light, whether it will be bright or light, dark in appearance. So this is what you should be knowing it. And then this dead tracts what we are discussing, they will have a inverted cone shaped appearance. That is, the apex will be facing what you see here. This is your inverted cone shaped appearance. The apex is facing towards the pulpal side and the base is towards the coronal side. So this is inverted cone shaped appearance which is filled with air. This is the appearance what is seen here in the dead tracts. So now the next of the changes what we see here is reparative or reactionary dentin. So as we have discussed in the dead tracts, whenever an insult or injury take place, the odontoblast die. But it is not necessary that all the odontoblast will die. Some of the odontoblast will take the hit and again they try to grow back. They will repair themselves and they will respond back. So that types of dentin what is formed is reparative or reactionary dentin. The pulpal dental complex represents a unique organ capable of responding in varieties of ways to external stimuli. So when this injury is happening, the stimulus is given, attrition, tooth cavity cutting, caries you are excavating or anything, injury can happen and odontoblast can die. But I told you some of the cells will fight back and they will try to grow back again. So the progenitor cells of the pulp gives rise to new odontoblasts. So they will not die completely, and from the pulp again the progenitor cells are there, they will support them. You grow back again and they will participate in the reparative process. So that is why the term, because repair is happening, the term reparative dentin is used. So the term reparative dentin is used to describe the tertiary dentin. So we have discussed tertiary dentin. It is a reactive. When any stimulus is given, this third type, the tertiary dentin, develops. So it is because of a new generation of odontoblast from the pulp will support, and whatever lost it will repair it. So it's a new generation of odontoblasts developed from the progenitor cells which are present in the pulp, and that is why it is also called as subodontoblast or Hol's layer also. So this is about your reparative dentin. So the tertiary dentin formed by surviving odontoblast is in response to an appropriate stimulus is called as reactionary dentin. So when something has happened and you reacted and you regrown yourself, so that is the reparative or reactive dentin. So reparative and reactive dentin are both subdivisions of tertiary dentin. Tertiary dentin means what? Any stimulus given, the dentin wants to regrow itself. So that stimulus, either you will repair yourself or you will react to it. So this reparative and reactive are subdivisions of tertiary dentin. Now coming to the next change, what happens is the sclerotic dentin. Sclerotic. So sclerosis means thickening. The lumen will shrink. So continuous deposition of intratubular dentin. So if lot of continuous deposition is happening as a result of aging or in response to tooth wear or slowly progressing dental caries, what happens? The continuous deposition of intratubular dentin takes place. So because this is taking place, there is reduction in the lumen of the dentinal tubules. And if it continues, it will obliterate the tubules. The whole tubule will get blocked. So that is called as sclerotic dentin. A dentin, because of excessive deposition of intratubular dentin, the dentinal tubules get shrunken and it gets obliterated and blocked. That is sclerotic dentin. So this is also referred to as transparent or translucent dentin also. So these are the other names. And they are mainly observed in the apical third of the root. And the sclerosis is a protective mechanism because dentinal tubules are blocked and reduce the permeability of the dentin. Because the whole thing gets blocked, permeability is there, so sensitivity also will not be there. Next, coming to the clinical consideration. So we have discussed all this dentin chapter. So what are the clinical cases what we can see pertaining to dentin? So first and foremost, there could be developmental defects. So the dentin is not formed properly. So some mutation happens in the gene DSPP and DMP1. If some mutations are happening, that will lead to dentogenesis imperfecta. That means your dentin is not developed properly, or it is also called as dentin dysplasia. These are all clinical conditions what we'll see in patients. And why these things are happening? Because during the dentinogenesis, your maturation and mineralization, these genes were not active properly. And not only this, even some mineralization effect, like the factors which affect the mineralization, like your calcium, vitamin D. If there's a deficiency of calcium and vitamin D, then also this defect will come. And then dentinal or dentin sensitivity, you will see that some patients drinking water, suddenly they feel the sensitivity. This is because the dentinal tubules are exposed. The enamel gets abraded and the dentinal tubules are exposed. So you have to give them a covering of a cement. That is your GIC cement, so many cements you will be studying, or restorative material you can call it. Cement, again, it will burn the tubules, so that's why you have got different materials over there. So that is a separate subject only, dental materials. So what you have to give is dentin desensitizing agents. So because sensitivity is more in the dentinal tubules is exposed, desensitizing agents you have to apply. Then there is something called smear layer. Smear. So whenever you're doing a cavity cutting, so when the dentin gets exposed, lot of powder type will come. So using hand instruments when you are using, so this debris what is coming like a powder type debris is called smear layer. So these are the things what you should know in this chapter of dentin. So the introduction, the properties of dentin, the composition of dentin, the classification of dentin, dentinogenesis very important, and the various structures in the dentin are the things what you should know and learn in this chapter. So that's all in this chapter of dentin. Thank you.